आप सभी लोगों को मेरा नमस्कार। मैं डॉक्टर दीपक शर्मा, दिल्ली होम्योपैथिक मेडिकल एसोसिएशन का जनरल सेक्रेटरी आप सब लोगों का स्वागत करता हूं हमारी इस वेबिनार सीरीज़ में। पूरे लॉकडाउन के दौरान जब मैंने ये सब कुछ शुरू किया, तो मेरा मोटो था कि आप सब लोगों को वो पढ़ाई दूँ, जो आप शायद जनरली अपनी प्रैक्टिस में हम लोग करना भूल जाते हैं, या ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स को वो सब कुछ दें हमारे स्पीकर्स के द्वारा कि आपको सब कुछ पता लगे। आप सीख पाएँ कि होम्योपैथी कहाँ तक किस बियॉन्ड लेवल पे काम कर सकती है, और हम इसमें बहुत अच्छे या कह सकते हैं खरे भी उतरे हैं। इसकी तारीफ़ मैं अपने आप खुद नहीं कर रहा हूँ। ये तारीफ़ आज हमें एक हमारे लिसनर से मिली। उसने कहा कि सर, जैसे 9 बजे रात को महाभारत या रामायण का टाइम फिक्स हो गया था, ऐसे ही हम सब लोगों ने अब डीएचएमए के वेबिनार का टाइम 9 बजे फिक्स कर लिया। और हम लोग मैं जब देख रहा था सर, मैं अभी जब आज भी मैंने लिंक ओपन करा, तो लिंक ओपन होते ही हमारे पास 15 जॉइनिंग थी 8:30 बजे। एक साथ। तो ये हमें बताता है कि हम अपने कार्य में कितना सक्षम हैं और कितना कामयाब हो रहे हैं। तो जो लोग नए हैं, आज उन लोगों को बता दूँ कि दिल्ली होम्योपैथिक मेडिकल एसोसिएशन 1932 में डॉक्टर युद्धवीर सिंह सर, मेरे पीछे आप उनका पोर्ट्रेट देख रहे हो, डॉक्टर युद्धवीर सिंह सर द्वारा बनाई गई थी। डॉक्टर युद्धवीर सिंह सर दिल्ली के पहले हेल्थ मिनिस्टर थे, और उन्होंने नेहरू होम्योपैथिक मेडिकल कॉलेज और दिल्ली में बहुत सारी होम्योपैथिक डिस्पेंसरी को जन्म दिया। दिल्ली होम्योपैथिक मेडिकल एसोसिएशन 1932 से लगातार होम्योपैथी के लिए काम कर रही है। उसके सीएमईज, सेमिनार्स, इंटरनेशनल सेमिनार्स, बहुत कुछ ऑर्गेनाइज किया। और आज दिल्ली में जितने भी स्टालवर्ट हैं या पूरे देश में, वो सब कहीं ना कहीं डीएचएमए से जुड़े हुए हैं। डीएचएमए हमेशा कार्यरत है। पूरे लॉकडाउन में आपको इस जितनी भी चीज़ें मैं सिखा सकता हूँ, मैं कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि आपको अच्छे अच्छे स्पीकर को यहाँ लेकर के आऊँ। और मेरी ये कोशिश रही कि ज़रूरी नहीं है कि ऐसे स्पीकर आएँ जिनको आप बार-बार सुन चुके हो, ऐसे भी स्पीकर आए हैं हमारे पास जो न्यू कमर्स हैं। स्टूडेंट्स आए, स्टूडेंट्स के लेक्चर्स, जैसे डॉक्टर आशीष गोयल का जो लेक्चर है, वो अभी तक 25,000 व्यूअर्स को क्रॉस कर चुका है, और अभी तक का सबसे इफ़ेक्टिव लेक्चर माना जा रहा है मैथमेटिका पे। तो ऐसे बहुत सारे लेक्चरर्स आए। तो हालाँकि आज जो हमारे पास एमिनेंट स्पीकर हैं, उनके बारे में शायद मुझे आप सब लोगों को बताने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि आप सब लोग जानते हैं डॉक्टर गिरीश गुप्ता सर को। सबसे पहले तो मैं उनका धन्यवाद करूँगा सर, कि आपने सिर्फ़ मेरी एक छोटी-सी कॉल पे हमारा इन्विटेशन एक्सेप्ट किया, और हमारे साथ जुड़ने की आपने जिज्ञासा जताई। इसके लिए तो मैं बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूँ। हालाँकि डॉक्टर गिरीश गुप्ता के बारे में मैं आपको बताऊँ कि मैं 1998 में जब लखनऊ में मेरा एडमिशन हुआ था, तो सेकंड प्रॉप के दौरान मैं सीडीआरआई में गया था। और सीडीआरआई में वहाँ एक डॉक्टर मिली, डॉक्टर प्रीति वर्मा, जिन्होंने मुझे बताया कि अब से बहुत साल पहले एक डॉक्टर और आते थे यहाँ पे, जिन्होंने होम्योपैथी पे कुछ काम किया था। तब मैंने सर को जाना, मैंने उनके क्लिनिक पे भी गया। अगर आप उनका क्लिनिक भी देख लेंगे, तो आपको लगेगा कि होम्योपैथी में सर ने कितनी लेबोरेटरी के काम या अपनी मेहनत के साथ, कठिन परिश्रम के साथ काम किया है। सर सीडीआरआई के बारे में बता दूं, सेंट्रल ड्रग रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट में जाने वाले शायद पहले ऐसे डॉक्टर थे जिन्होंने होम्योपैथी में रिसर्च कंडक्ट करी थी। उन्होंने बहुत सारे डिफरेंट टॉपिक्स पे अपनी रिसर्च पब्लिश करी। और सर 1975 बैच से हैं, और जब सीपीएमटी यूपी में शुरू हुई थी, तब उन्होंने पहले बैच को उन्होंने पढ़ाया था। तो बहुत कुछ है, मतलब सर के बारे में अगर मैं बोलता रहूँ, तो मुझे लगता है कि हमारा पूरा वेबिनार सर के इंट्रोडक्शन में शुरू हो जाएगा। मैं आपको दिखाना चाहता हूँ कि जब हम सर की जो कोशिशें हैं, वो मैंने आपको सब कुछ स्क्रीन में एक छोटा-सा इंट्रोडक्शन दिया, जिसमें चीफ कंसल्टेंट हैं गौरांग क्लिनिक एंड सेंटर ऑफ होम्योपैथिक रिसर्च लखनऊ के, प्रेसिडेंट हैं होम्योपैथिक रिसर्च फाउंडेशन के, प्रेसिडेंट हैं एशियन होम्योपैथिक मेडिकल लीग के। अगर आप बात करेंगे कि सर कि जो बाकी क्लिनिक मैं ज़रूर दिखाना चाहूँगा। अगर आप इस क्लिनिक को देखेंगे, तो ये पूरा एक रिसर्च सेंटर है, और ऐसे सेंटर्स को प्राइवेट लेवल पे मेंटेन करना, और मैं खुद भी एक बार गया हूँ, और हमने सर को काम करते हुए देखा है और मेहनत करते हुए देखा है। एक पेशेंट के लिए भी उन्होंने शायद अपनी जी जान से ज़्यादा मेहनत करके उस पेशेंट को ठीक करने के लिए उसकी काउंसलिंग करके, और होम्योपैथी को कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँचाने की कोशिश करी है। आज जो हम कोविड-19 की सब सिचुएशन झेल रहे हैं, उसके लिए भी सर ने ऑलरेडी ब्रिटिश होम्योपैथिक जर्नल में शायद 85 में, सर आई एम राइट, 85 में ऑलरेडी अपना एक वायरोलॉजी पे पेपर प्रेजेंट कर दिया था, और ये बताया था कि होम्योपैथी वायरोलॉजी में कितना इफेक्टिव है। हालांकि आज सर अगर इजाज़त देंगे तो मैं आप सबको बाद में ये सब कुछ शेयर करूँगा इसका लिंक, और अगर सर मुझे वो सब इजाज़त देंगे। लेकिन मैं आपको बता दूं कि ये होम्योपैथी का एक अनुसंधान केंद्र सिर्फ पैसे कमाने के लिए नहीं है। सर ने जो मेहनत करी है, इतने सारे मरीज ठीक करें, शायद मैं जानता हूँ कि लखनऊ में कोई भी ऐसा बंदा नहीं होगा जो होम्योपैथी में डॉक्टर गिरीश गुप्ता सर को ना जानता हो। मेरे कॉलेज के पास आउट हैं तो मेरे लिए और भी गर्व की बात हो जाती है। आज डॉक्टर गिरीश गुप्ता हमारे पास, जो भी हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं उसके लिए मैं धन्यवाद करता हूँ डॉक्टर कुलभूषण भारद्वाज को। अगर वो हैं तो प्लीज़ अपनी वीडियो ऑन कर लें। और मैं चाहता हूँ कि डॉक्टर कुलभूषण भारद्वाज से भी सब मिलें, क्योंकि एक दिन उनसे भी बहुत कुछ सीखना है हमें। वो ऐसे सीनियर हैं जो बहुत हिडन हैं, लेकिन उनके पास बहुत खजाना है। ऐसी सर के पास है। सर ने बहुत अच्छी सी पीसीओडी पे रिसर्च की है। थूजा पे उन्होंने ऑलरेडी एक रिसर्च की हुई है। बहुत सारी रिसर्च, अगर आपको बात करूं तो सर की अपनी एक बुक भी पब्लिश हुई है जो कॉलेज में इस समय बहुत ज़्यादा फेमस हो रही है। उस बुक के बारे में मैं आपको बताता हूँ। जो गायनेकोलॉजी के ऊपर है। और ये बुक इस समय इतनी प्रचलित है क्योंकि सर ने जो एविडेंस बेस्ड रिसर्च दी है वो एक बायोस्टेटिकल वे में दी है, जिसकी होम्योपैथी को आज मुझे लगता है सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है हमारे यहाँ। मुझे ये कहने में बिल्कुल भी शर्म नहीं आती, क्योंकि मैं भी एक टीचर हूँ, सिर्फ अपने क्लिनिक्स पे पढ़ाता हूँ और भी एक जगह में पढ़ाता हूँ। तो मैं सबको ये बोलता हूँ कि होम्योपैथी को आज बायोस्टेटिक्स की बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है। अगर बायोस्टेटिक्स होती तो हम अपने केस को प्रेजेंट करने में हम अभी तक कामयाब हो गए थे, और आज हमें होम्योपैथी को मेन स्ट्रीम लाने में हमें दिक्कत महसूस ना होती। अगर बायोस्टेटिक नहीं है तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं कि सिर्फ अपने कॉन्फ्रेंसेज में, अपनी सीएमईज में या अपने वेबिनार्स में हम लोग केस दिखाते हैं कि हमने पूजा को ऐसे ठीक किया, लेकिन उसका बायोस्टेटिकली डाटा अरेंज करना ये एक सबसे बड़ा टास्क है। मैं खुद भी कुछ अपने ऐसी रिसर्च बेस्ड काम कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन जैसे ही मुझे 2017 में बायोस्टैटिक के बारे में समझ में आया, तब मैंने सीखा कि नहीं, हमें ऐसे केसेस प्रेजेंट नहीं करने चाहिए, हम इसको अरेंज कर रहे हैं। और हमने एक बायोस्टेटिशियन हायर किया, और ये मैं सबको रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ कि सभी लोग ऐसा करें। और अगर आपने साल में अगर शायद 2 केस भी बायोस्टैटिक्स के हिसाब से लिख लिए तो भी होम्योपैथी अगले 10 सालों में कहीं से कहीं होगी। हालाँकि इसके बारे में हम लोग और भी बात कर सकते हैं, लेकिन क्योंकि आज सब लोग सर आपको सुनना चाहते हैं, और मैं चाहता हूँ सर आज जो भी आपका ज्ञान है वो ज़रूर हम सब तक पहुँचे। अभी तक हमारे पास लगभग 247 व्यूअर्स हो चुके हैं ज़ूम पर, बाकी फेसबुक पे अलग हैं, और सभी लोग आपका बेसब्री से इंतज़ार कर रहे हैं। मैक्सिमम लोग ऐसे हैं जो हिंदी सुनना पसंद करते हैं, कुछ लोग ऐसे हैं इंग्लिश, क्योंकि मैं खुद एक ऐसी उसमें हूँ कि हम अपनी मातृभाषा पर ध्यान देंगे तो ज़्यादा अच्छा है, उससे हम लोग समझा अच्छा पाते हैं और लोगों को
बहुत अच्छा।
समझ में भी अच्छा आ जाता है। तो
बहुत अच्छा।
जो जो लोग प्योरली इंग्लिश में हैं तो उनके लिए मैं ज़रूर कोई ना कोई कोशिश करूँगा कि सर का जो लेक्चर है वो कहीं ना कहीं, या उनका जो लिटरेचर है वो सर आपके पास तक पहुँचाऊँगा। और सर आपको एक बात और बता दूँ कि आज हमारे पास स्विट्ज़रलैंड, यूएस, दुबई से भी पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं ऑलरेडी हमारे इस मीटिंग में।
वेरी गुड।
तो सभी लोग आपको सुनने के लिए बेताब हैं। मैं आपका फिर से एक बार बहुत-बहुत स्वागत करता हूँ, और धन्यवाद करता हूँ कि आपने सिर्फ़ एक छोटी-सी रिक्वेस्ट पे मेरी आपने डीएचएमए में आने के लिए कोशिश की। सो थैंक यू सर एंड मोस्ट वेलकम, एंड प्लीज़ स्टार्ट।
ये मेरा भी सौभाग्य है डॉक्टर दीपक।
थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर inviting me
जी,
to conduct this webinar organized by you.
थैंक यू सर।
सभी को नमस्कार, गुड इवनिंग। डॉक्टर दीपक ने जो आपको परिचय दिया, मुझे लगता है उससे ज्यादा जरूरत नहीं है। हम लोग अपने टॉपिक पे आना चाहेंगे कि व्हाई एविडेंस बेस्ड मेडिसिन, व्हाई दिस इज द फर्स्ट रिक्विजिट 21st century
सर
of
आप
science.
अपनी स्क्रीन शेयर कर सकते हैं सर अब।
Okay, okay, right. Why evidence based? It is because unless you prove what you say, it has no scientific value. So to prove any science to be science, you have to have sufficient evidence to corroborate your findings. So homeopathy can't be an exception. So मेरा आप लोगों से कहना है कि अब इस 21st सेंचुरी में जो नए नए डॉक्टर्स आ रहे हैं उनको एविडेंस पे ध्यान देना चाहिए, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन करिए केसेस का, in whatever way you are treating, classical, unclassical, non-classical, whatever way, but you must have a documentary evidence supported by modern diagnostic gadgets like ultrasound, CT scan, pathology, MRI, whatever scientific parameter is required for conducting this particular study. You must have a record of all these things over a couple of time cases and over a number of good amount of time. So our topic today is whatever evidence we have collected in the last 30 years on role of homeopathy in gynae problems. It started way back in 1993 when I came across a few cases treated by one of my junior and one of my senior who proved that fibroid disappears after treatment with homeopathy. So this encouraged me in 1993 to conduct evidence-based study on this. So I started documenting cases after treating. The cases comprised of fibroids, ovarian cyst, and so many other problems. I never knew a time will come that I will come up with this huge amount of data and I would publish the research paper on this. I never dreamed of it. But I started way back in 1993 and published my first study on 72 cases on the role of homeopathy in pelvic tumors. Why pelvic tumors? Pelvic tumors comprised of fibroid, ovarian cyst, masses, endometriosis, cervical polyps, and Nabothian cysts. They come under pelvic tumors. So I published a study in 1995 in Asian Homeopathic Journal with some positive results. Next. As Dr. Deepak told you, I established a research center of its own in private sector known as Gaurang Clinic and Center for Homeopathic Research based in Lucknow. Its main purpose was to bring homeopathy in mainstream of science. Next, please. Dr. Deepak has already introduced you to our clinic. We have got 3 tier working. One is clinical OPD, second is research aspect, and third is to conduct seminars and to conduct research work financed by Department of Ayush or now Ministry of Ayush. So I have got 3 wings in the clinic and my team comprised of about 7 BHMS doctors, 1 MD, who is my son, Dr. Gaurang. He did BHMS and MD in psychiatry. And we are all working in this research center. It has got its own pathology, medical mycology, physiotherapy, yoga, apart from homeopathic OPDs and treatment. We all know about the background of this because the increased incidence of various gynae disorders encourage clinicians to conduct studies on the role of homeopathic or therapeutic interventions. We all know that there are several claims by homeopathic practitioners having treated such cases, but only a few have conducted scientifically based studies and they reported in journal. Very few studies are being reported and have been reporting in the past, in the journals. So the paucity of published work was the guiding factor, main guiding factor for me to take up this subject of clinical importance to scientifically validate the role of homeopathic medicines selected on holistic basis. Please mind, we are not treating fibroid. We are treating a case suffering from fibroid or ovarian cyst, whatever. Yes. Our study is very wide. We have worked on various gynae problems like uterine fibroids, ovarian cyst, TO masses, polycystic ovarian disease, breast lesions comprising of fibroadenoma, fibrocystic disease, fibroadenosis, Nabothian cyst, and cervical polyps. So except PCOD, all the conditions are usually surgical in nature as far as allopathy is concerned. In the very outset, I would like to say that I'm not a gynecologist myself. I'm a BHMS, having done MD and later on PhD. But I'm not a gynecologist myself. And neither I claim that I have got any expertise in gynae problems. But of course, we have collected a sufficient data to prove that homeopathic drugs are much more effective in treating gynae problems compared to any other science, like Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, homeopathy, allopathy. Of course, if you minus surgery, we have got better medicinal therapeutic options to treat all such conditions, as evidenced from the studies conducted by me in the last 30 years. It has come in the book form as Dr. Deepak introduced you. First of all, I would be sharing some cases to show as to how we proceed in treating such cases. This is a case of model fibroid. You will find a registration number, general registration number, then fibroid number, that is 787. This lady, 43 years old, having prolonged and profuse menses for the last 1 month, reported to us in December 2012. She underwent cholecystectomy. Father had carcinoma of kidney. Mother also had carcinoma of gallbladder. She came to us with this report. Uterus was enlarged and there are multiple uterine fibroids, and that too very large fibroids. The size is 59.5 into 42 and other is 33.5 into 26. These are two large fibroids that have been measured by ultrasonologist. We took up the case. The case history is very elaborate. We are just concising on the rubrics we selected from patient. And here I would like to mention that we are treating the person having fibroid. So we are treating the person suffering from fibroid, not the fibroid itself. You know, this lady has got fear of being alone. She reported fear of snakes too much. She used to get angered easily. She was obstinate in nature, very dictatorial and impatient, hurried. She used to weep very easily, very emotional, claustrophobic, had desire for company, had anger from contradiction, desire fish, perspiration in palms, and chilly. This is a picture of a person. It doesn't have any symptom of fibroid because fibroid is not formed in vitro. If you remove the uterus, fibroid cannot be formed in a separate uterus. It can only be formed when uterus is in situ, that is in the patient. Because in the formation of fibroid, it's a long process. Uterus is controlled by ovaries, ovarian hormones. estrogen, progesterone. That these two hormones are controlled by pituitary gland. That is LH, FSH. That is controlled by pituitary is controlled by hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is a part of limbic system that is controlled by higher centers. That is brain. And brain is hardware that is controlled by mind. So if you look at the person, its cause lies in the mind. Then pituitary hormones are disturbed, then they affect ovaries and uterus produces, fibroids are formed. So this was a picture of the patient. This is a repertorial chart. There are number of medicines covering these symptoms like lycopodium, nux vomica, sepia. We preferred lycopodium on the basis of fear of being alone, angered easily. Patient was dictatorial, very impatient, had weeping tendency, had fear of closed spaces, that is claustrophobia. She used to get angered from least contradiction. So these were all in favor of lycopodium compared to nux vomica and sepia. So here we are treating the person as I told you. This is the ultrasonography which shows a normal uterus. After treatment with lycopodium 30, we have got a chronological order of case history as to how we prescribed, but we started prescribing a lycopodium in 30 potency weekly, followed by usually rubrum metallicum and SOS. If somebody is bleeding, then intercurrent remedies like Sabina, etc. was given, and you will be surprised that this case resolved with lycopodium 30. It took about 5 months. This is the initial report and this is a final report. This report belongs to Charak Diagnostics and the other is Chandan Diagnostic Center. These are one of the best diagnostic centers of Lucknow. Within 5 months with lycopodium, the case of multiple fibroid resolved and it was saved from surgery. This is the status of patients of uterine fibroid. So far, with evidence base, we have got 630 cases of uterine fibroids, confirmed cases. If you look at the response, out of 630, complete resolution has been observed in 214 cases. You can see the percentage. And in 201 cases, the number of fibroid regressed, size and number regressed. In 82 cases, it remained status quo, that is, they did not improve, neither they worsened. And in spite of best treatment, 133 cases did not improve. So if you look at this, out of 630 cases, we could resolve 214 cases completely, and in 201 cases, they were improving, means number and size of fibroid is regressing. This is the data I have published in my book in great detail. Now I'm coming to ovarian cyst cases. I'm just giving model cases, not giving in very, very detail about chronological order as to how we treat it. This is a case of ovarian cyst. If you look at this, C549 is a registration number of OPD. OC520, that is ovarian cyst number 520. The lady was aged 45 years, tri-pairs female, was having pain, heaviness in lower abdomen for the last 6 months. She reported to us in 2016. She had a past history of renal calculi. It was cured. She was cured in GCCHR, that is our clinic only, 2013. GCCHR stands for Gaurang Clinic and Center for Homeopathic Research. She had irregular menses and she came up with ovarian cyst. Father was diabetic, mother was hypertensive. This is a ultrasound report. Enlarged right cystic ovary. You can see this is the ovary, and the cyst was quite large. That is 4 centimeter into 28 millimeter, 40 into 28 millimeter. The report belonged to Sarkar Diagnostic Center. As Dr. Deepak might be knowing, Sarkar Diagnostic Center is the best center in Lucknow. And Dr. Sarkar was felicitated with Padam Shri also 2 years ago.
Yes, sir.
And he is the person who have written preface, 4 words in my gynae book. My gynae book have got 3 prefaces, 4 words from allopathic doctors. One is Dr. Sarkar. He is Padam Shri. Now you see, look at the picture of patient. What rubrics we selected for selecting a remedy. Patient was very, very dull lady. Indolence, very, very indolent, very बिल्कुल सुस्त, चुपचाप पड़े रहना. हिंदी में उसने कहा जैसे अजगर होता है, मन करता पड़े रहें, काम नहीं करने का मन करता. She had fear of dark, fear of ghost. 43 ईयर की लेडी कहती है अंधेरे में जाते हैं तो मुझे भूत से डर लगता है. She had delusion of snake. जो आप हमारे जूनियर डॉक्टर्स हैं उनको मैं बताना चाहूंगा, these are the highest mental symptoms, delusions. उसने कहा कि जब मैं दिन में भी मुझे लगता है कि कहीं सांप है, या रात को when I go to toilet तो मैं पहले स्विच ऑन करती हूँ, देखती हूँ कहीं सांप तो नहीं है. टॉयलेट जाते हैं तो पहले टार्च जला के देखते हैं सांप तो नहीं है. उसको ये भ्रम होता, डेल्यूजन था स्नेक्स का. तो इट कैरीज अ वेरी हाई ग्रेड ऑफ symptomatology in homeopathy. She used to get angered easily, sometimes shrieking, very obstinate in nature, but not able to take decisions, confusion. उसने कहा मैं बिल्कुल कंफ्यूज हो जाती हूँ, डिसीजन नहीं ले पाते, irresolute, but optimistic, desire for company and lot of perspiration in palms. This is a general picture of a person. Uterus and fibroid doesn't come in the picture because we are treating the person in disease. Agreed? So with this picture, we repertorized the case, and Calcarea carb, Nux vomica, Lycopodium, lot of medicines are covering the symptoms, but we preferred Calcarea carb on the basis of delusion of snakes. Lot of other symptoms are matching with 2-3 medicines, but delusion of snake was very strong, and that was only present in Calcarea carb. The Calcarea carb patient is indolent, obstinate, perspiration, palm and sole, and perhaps thermal, it was chilly, but delusion of snake was not found in any other drug than Calcarea carb. So we prescribed Calcarea carb. We started from 30 potency once a week, followed by usually placebo or some SOS acute remedies. And with Calcarea carb, this case of ovarian cyst resolved. It came out to be normal. This report has been reported by some other Ankur Diagnostic Center. Sometimes patients go to some other centers just to remove any bias. Sometimes they go for the same center for ultrasonography, or sometimes they prefer to go to some other centers. Within less than 2 months, the case resolved. Ovarian cyst disappeared and patient was symptomatically okay. So this is the evidence of resolution of ovarian cyst. Now, this is another case, ovarian cyst number 443, and this is registration number OPD. This lady, aged 30 years, came to our clinic on 23rd August 13 with complaint of continuous pulse vaginal bleeding for the last 1 month with low backache, etc. This was the ultrasound. It is left adnexal cyst that is hemorrhagic. Hemorrhagic cysts are very, very difficult to cure, to treat. These are usually known as chocolate cyst also. You must be aware of this. This was again a big cyst, 4.4 centimeter, that is 44 millimeter, into 2 into 2.7 centimeter. This was quite a big cyst. You can see lot of ovarian size is increased because of, and there are a lot of clots inside. This case was taken up, and these are the rubrics for prescribing the remedy. This case as a whole had very lot of anger. Dreams were very frightful. She used to get offended easily. At the same time, very mild in nature, brooding, yielding in nature, very emotional, weeps, grief because of no issue, because lot of pressure from family that you don't have a child. She was sentimental, so used to weep easily. Consolation, she was better with this. Thirstless, thermal heart patient. You can find out, you can guess the remedy. It was pulsatilla. This was a pulsatilla lady. This is the repertorial chart. I'm using HomePath software. Usually it is developed by Dr. Jawahar Shah of Mumbai. You must be knowing. I have got other software also, but I prefer this. This is very easy to operate. So we prescribed pulsatilla, selected pulsatilla on the basis of dreams, mildness, weeping tendency, yielding disposition, grief, but better by consolation, heart patient, and thirstlessness. All classical symptoms of pulsatilla. So this was a pulsatilla lady. We started pulsatilla 30 once a week, followed by placebo usually, or some SOS medicine, acute remedies. You see, just look at this is the urinary bladder and ovarian cyst resolved. Hemorrhagic clear-cut chocolate cyst resolved, and this is a normal study of ultrasound. If you compare, it took about 3.5 months for pulsatilla to resolve the case. Left adnexal cyst, that is hemorrhagic in nature, very, very large, you can see, large cyst. And here there is no trace of the cyst. All blood clots and hemorrhage, etc., all resolved with this beautiful remedy, that is pulsatilla. This is the status of patients of ovarian cysts. Total, we have documented 249 cases. This is the data of last year. Number of cases have increased, but out of 249, 166 cases completely resolved, comprised of all hemorrhagic cyst, serous cyst, and other kind of cyst, teomases. So it came out to be about 66% resolution, and 45 cases improved, that is 18%. So it is more than about 80% that our cases of ovarian cyst respond to homeopathy. So out of 249, 166 resolved and 45 cases improved. This is all mentioned in the book. This is a model case of PCOD, polycystic ovarian disease. You'll be surprised that I submitted my thesis for PhD to Homeopathy University, Jaipur on PCOD only. And we had a sample size of 50 cases. Out of them, 42 cases resolved. They gave positive results. So I'm just sharing with you single case of each gynae problem. This is a lady, unmarried, 19-year-old girl, Miss P.S. had recurrent pain in lumbar region radiating to up to, with nausea and vomiting. Past history was not remarkable. She used to take Meftal, Spas, Spasmoproxy-1 and all, just to relieve dysmenorrhea. This is the ultrasound report. Both ovaries are enlarged. Size is 44 into 24, other is 42-22, with more than 10 cysts. This was a parameter that cyst must be more than 10 and ovarian size must be higher, almost 1.5 to 2 times. Then the case was registered. So this was a clear-cut case of PCOD. I'm not going into clinical details as to how many, what were the symptoms. She used to have amenorrhea also, dysmenorrhea. So if we have got one topic seminar, then we can share a case in great detail. So this is just a bird's eye view about cases. Here, if you look at the patient as a whole, the lady, that girl was very angry in nature. The least contradiction used to create anger. She had fear of crowd, very highly anxious. She had anticipatory anxiety, but very optimistic, dictatorial in nature, egoistic, at the same time cowardice. At home, she was very, very dictatorial, but in institute, in college, she was very cowardice. Had hurried tendency, very impatient, desire for company, contradiction disposition, desire for spicy food. So this was a general picture of the girl, aged 19 years, suffering from PCOD. This is a repertorial chart. Many drugs like Lycopodium, Nux vomica, sulfur, they are very, very close, but the justification of prescription of Lycopodium was due to anger from contradiction, fear of crowd, cowardice, optimism, disposition to contradict. They all symptoms belong to Lycopodium personality. So we prescribe Lycopodium. We usually start from 30 potency once a week. If patient doesn't respond, then increase to 200. You see, you look at the ultrasound, all polycystic ovary, all cysts disappeared. This was a string of pearl. In PCOD, you must have studied a string of pearl in the last slide. You see, lot of cysts are surrounding the ovary. And here, if you look at the picture, after treatment with Lycopodium, all cysts disappeared and patient became asymptomatic. In SOS cases, as a SOS remedy, Simicifuga, etc., Colocin was given for relieving his dysmenorrhea instead of painkillers, like she used to have painkillers in the past. So it took about 4 months. Although all cases are not so easy to treat, they sometimes take a year or so, more than a year, they may take 2 years, but in PCOD, homeopathy is the best. Classical homeopathy is the best. We don't have any specific combination to treat such cases. You have to follow principles of homeopathy. This is the status of PCOD condition. So we have documented 218 cases so far. My thesis of PhD was having 50 cases, and you'll be surprised, I was given a project by Ministry of Ayush to see the role of homeopathy in PCOD, that its sample size was 50. I could achieve only 34. But this is the data of Gaurang Clinic, not of that project, because that paper has to be published. So I can't speak much about that. So out of 218 confirmed cases of PCOD, 150 cases responded beautifully. All cysts resolved. So success rate, it comes to around 68.8, almost 70%. And complete resolution was found in 108 and regressed in 42 cases. There are some cases who did not respond also. So it's not 100% always, but we have got very, very encouraging results in PCOD also. Now moving to breast, because it is also covered under gynae. This is a case of fibroadenoma. I'm just presenting fibroadenoma case, not giving fibroadenosis or fibrocystic disease. Just sharing one case. This is general registration number of OPD, age 32 years. This lady, biparous female, was suffering from tender lump in right breast with recurrent left headache and cramps in leg. She used to have some menstrual problem in the past, and past history was tinea palmaris. She used to have betno weight, etc. This is a very, very large fibroadenoma, mostly surgical in nature. You see, the size was 76 into 74. It was palpable, and ultrasound revealed very large. I advise the patient to go for surgery because this is a large one. But as I told you, the lady's wife, age was not much, and she never wanted to go for surgery. So we resorted to treatment. Here we took up the case in great detail, and these are the symptoms rubrics which were utilized for selecting a remedy. Patient was usually tendency to become angry, very obstinate, dictatorial, very egoistic, at the same time cowardice, fastidious by nature, had hurried tendency, irresolute, but very optimistic because this is surgical condition, but she had lot of faith and she trusted our treatment. So she was very optimistic. But at the same time, she had anticipatory anxiety as well. Dreams of snakes, very, very important. She was abrupt, very abrupt. She used to become angry at the same time. And the next moment she is laughing, very abrupt. And she never used to suppress anything. She used to express. She was very censorious, had desire for very spicy food, hot food, desire for indigestible things. So this case was repertorized, and the remedies were Lycopodium nux vomica sulfur, or usually Polycrest. The patient was given Lycopodium on the basis of the symptoms like angered easily, dictatorial, egoistic, cowardice, had anticipatory anxiety, abrupt desire for food, hot food, were in favor of Lycopodium. So we prescribed Lycopodium, and you see, such a large cyst, fibroadenoma, resolved with homeopathic treatment. This is initial and final ultrasound. By the way, this was scanned by the same center, same doctor, Satyam Diagnostic Center. And it took about 4 months to resolve the case of such a large fibroadenoma. So in such condition also, homeopathy is a boon. If somebody wants to avoid surgery, homeopathy comes to rescue. This is a statistical record of 135 cases of various fibrocystic diseases and fibroadenoma cases. Out of them, they responded to homeopathy. About 73 cases responded out of 135. Out of 73 cases, complete resolution was seen in 24 and 49 cases regressed. So the result is almost 54%. It could be increased if we have got still better studies and better sample size. This is a case of Nabothian cyst. We can escape, we can go. This is not very important, but usually such conditions are surgical in nature. No pathy have got any treatment for Nabothian cyst. But since time is running short, so we can just proceed. This is an ultrasound-based Nabothian. Usually, it is examined by gynecologist, but we prefer to go for ultrasound just to have the evidence, because visual evidence of gynecologist is not a scientific evidence. So ultrasound revealed a cyst, cervical cyst, that is Nabothian cyst, measuring 19 into 21 millimeter. It's about 2 centimeter. This was the symptom picture, lot of rubrics, and it responded to arsenicum album. If you want to see, because this is the first case of arsenicum, she used to have dreams of dead people, dead relatives. We have got excellent remedies. Religious dreams were rare. She had fear of misfortune, fear of robbers, fear of narrow spaces, desire for company, very fastidious in nature, offended easily, sentimental by nature, angered easily, but she had got remorse, dwelling in the past, weeping tendency, anxiety about children, anger, striking herself, brooding. She had migraine also, and of course. So this was a repertorial chart in which arsenic came at the top, apart from Ignatian Lycopodium. You can see highlighters. Usually I have got a habit of highlighting the rubrics and the symptoms. So here arsenic was prescribed, selected on the basis of fear of misfortune, fear of robbers, fear of narrow spaces, desire for company, fastidiousness, anxiety about children, and of course migraine, etc. It favored arsenic. With arsenic, 30 potency once a week, in a couple of weeks, it responded and cervix became normal. This is a purely surgical condition. Usually people go for cryosurgery, but it responded to single drug arsenic. It took about 4 months to resolve the case. This is a rare condition, so we could record only 18 cases of Nabothian cyst. Out of 18 cases, 13 cases responded. This is a cervical polyp, not a big deal, but cervical polyp is again surgical. Either the patient has to undergo cryosurgery or polypectomy, everybody knows about that. So we had some smart study, very small study on this. A 27-year-old multiparous female patient came to clinic with a complaint of irregular early profuse menses. These are associated complaints, not very important. Mother had diabetes, father had asthma. This is a cervical polyp case. Usually it is examined by per vaginal examination by gynecologist, but that is not, as I told you, that is not a scientific evidence. So we ask the patient to go for ultrasonography. This is a Thokrar Diagnostic Center. You'll be surprised to know Thokrar is one of the best top ultrasonologists of Lucknow. He has worked in All India Institute of Medical Sciences. Very, very dedicated person in Lucknow. So this is a report. You will see a polyp is visible in ultrasound. These are the symptoms. This is the last case of my presentation. The lady was a habit of getting angered easily, very easily, shrieking and screaming in anger, very obstinate, headstrong, fear of animals, fear of dark. She had a dream of falling and unsuccessful efforts. I would like to share, to emphasize on the dream. Dream of falling, usually patient encounters, but dream of unsuccessful effort is very, very important. What happens? Whatever person is doing during dream, she or he is not getting success. Like you have missed the train, you are going to give examination, you are not able to reach the examination hall, you are giving examination, the ink is finished, now copy is not there, you are not able to complete the job, whatever you are doing. Such kind of dream come under the rubric, dreams of unsuccessful effort. We have got remedies for that. Patient was very dull, sluggish by nature, indolent. She had confused mind, offended easily, very pessimistic, and desire for sweets, etc. It was a typical Calcarea-Carr lady. Why? Because rubrics like dream of unsuccessful effort, it is very, very well covered with Calcarea-Carr. Dream of falling, fear of dark, dull obstinacy, offendedly pessimism. These are all classical symptoms of Calcarea-Carr, and dream is the only, eliminating. This is the eliminating factor. Dream of unsuccessful effort is only covered with Calcarea-Carr, although Nux vomica is coming in the top. So with Calcarea-Carr with few doses, the case of cervical polyp resolved. This is again a Thokral Diagnostic Center. Actually, these are the persons who are examining cases. We are unfortunate not to see how the cases are responding. We are just treating, and they are the person who are witnessing and giving the reports in writing. Within 5 months, the case of cervical polyp resolved and saved from surgery. So this is the beauty of homeopathy, that such surgical conditions are cured with well-selected homeopathic remedies selected on holistic basis. Only 5 cases we have been able to document, and you'll be surprised, all 5 cases have been cured. 1 case responded to Calcarea, the other responded to sulfur, 3rd case responded to Calcarea, 1 case responded to Silesia, and 5th case responded to sulfur. So these are very rare conditions. Such patients you very rarely come to homeopathic doctor, but we are lucky to have encountered 5 cases, and whatever data we have got, I have shared with you. Now, apart from these model cases, what was the pathway of genesis of fibroid or ovarian cyst or uterine pathology? Vis-a-vis pathway of action of medicine. That is psychoneurohormonal axis. This is the basis how fibroid or ovarian cyst or polyp or cyst or fibroadenoma is formed in the uterus, ovary or breast respectively. It is pathway of pathology. So our drug must act from the same pathway. That is psychoneurohormonal axis. This is a very well established axis. It is established by modern system of medicine also, that first of all, your psychology is disturbed, software. Then that affects your brain. Then hypothalamus, that is limbic system, then pituitary. Now, once pituitary is disturbed because of neurotransmitters, LH and FSH is disturbed. That leads to disturbance in ovarian hormones, leading to uterine or ovarian pathology. So our drug must act from the same route. And Dr. Hahnemann, Samuel Hahnemann, our master, were the first scientists to my knowledge who 200 years ago proclaimed in writing in Organ of Medicine that disease starts in the mind and descends in the body. So this is a classical example of establishing the hypothesis of our master. That is, first of all, mind is affected, then brain, then other organs are affected, leading to pathological changes. So our drug must act from that angle only. That is why we in homeopathy are giving much more importance to mental symptoms rather than physical generals. We are giving importance to physical generals rather than particular or pathological symptoms. So this is the crux of treating such conditions. With this diagram, I am just able to depict the first of all, mind is affected, then brain, then hypothalamus, leading to pituitary changes that leads to disturbance in gonadotropin, that is FSH-LH, leading to changes in ovary, leading to PCOD, then estrogen or menstrual cycle irregularities, that leads to progesterone imbalance, hormone imbalance, leading to fibroid and ovarian cyst. This is just a topographical diagram of showing how the pathology takes place in the body and how our drug is acting. Now, this is a topographical sketch about the action of our drugs, how they act from higher center to lower center. You see, dreams affect our mind. Homeopathy is the first science which have proved that dreams does affect mind and can lead to pathological changes. Dreams like dreams of falling, frightful dreams, dreams of dead relatives, religious dreams, dreams of unsuccessful effort, dreams of animal, dreams of water, they affect our mind during sleep. Because whenever you are sleeping, person is sleeping, mind never sleeps. So it doesn't perceive whether he or she is dreaming or it is really happening in life. So they affect your mind, leading to changes in hormones and neurotransmitters. They affect your body. Now about fears. Fears in homeopathy are given top importance, like fear of water, fear of death, fear of misfortune, fear of cancer. Lots of fears. They affect your mind, leading to changes in physiology. Delusions, as I discussed in so many cases, delusion of being poisoned, delusion of snakes, very, very important. Usually, if you ask this question, about 25% patient give you in positive reply that they have got delusion of snakes. Delusion of someone behind is very important. Usually, ladies say that whenever we are alone, we are obsessed. We just feel that somebody is following me. Somebody is standing behind us. So such kind of delusion affect your mind, leading to release of neurotransmitter, ultimately leading to pathology. Now, there are a lot of causations like financial loss. There are several causations. In homeopathy, causations have been given top importance above dream and fear and delusion. That is causation like disappointed love. If somebody is emotionally disturbed, it does affect your mind, leading to changes in brain. Mortification, you must be aware. प्रताड़ना, बहुत ज़्यादा ladies के साथ बहुत प्रताड़ित की जाती usually सास बहू, mother-in-law, they're good, not in good relation. So mortification, usually ladies do not share with the husband or with anybody. So it is mortification which affect your mind, grief, insult, or indignation, anger, some mental shock due to loss of near and dear, financial losses. Like I share, जो नोटबंदी के समय ये फाइनेंशियल लॉस की वजह से बहुत सी लेडीज मैंने देखा, हस्बैंड का बिजनेस बंद हो गया, रियल एस्टेट में बहुत सी जिनके हस्बैंड बर्बाद हो गए, उनके लेडीज में इतना ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट था कि दे वेंट इनटू डिप्रेशन, psychological problem and gynecological problems. So we treated all those patients with these rubrics. The drug was prescribed on the basis of these rubrics and we got excellent results. So these are various number of causations. There are number of causations more, but fear, dream, delusion, causation should be given much more importance for the remedy selection in such conditions. Now, as I told you, motto was to treat the person in disease and not the disease in person. You have to treat the person like Hahnemann, and you are not treating a fibroid or ovarian cyst or fibroadenoma in test tube. You are treating a person in which uterus is there, ovary is there, breast is there, and pathology is getting formed. And our drug must act from the same route, from the route where how the pathology has taken place. So pathology descended from mind to uterus and ovary. Likewise, our drug must act also from the same route. That is why any specific remedy of fibroid or cyst doesn't work. I have treated number of cases with utter failure. But if you stick to homeopathic principle, treat the person in disease, not the disease in person, as initiated by Hahnemann in Organon, you are going to succeed positively. In my books, we have shared about 10 model cases of each diseases with all evidences, and that is enough to prove that our drugs are able to revert the pathological changes in ladies suffering from various gynae problems. This is just a disease organ relation I have discussed with you in detail. This is again a depiction made by my son Gaurang in his MD thesis, because he did MD thesis on role of mind in genesis and treatment of physical diseases. So I have taken this diagram from his thesis just to explain how sympathetic nervous system affect your body organs. How endocrine system is affected by problem at hair center, that is hypothalamus, anterior pituitary, posterior pituitary, affecting all physical organs in the body. This is just to convince you that our drugs are acting from the higher center to lower center, reverting the pathological changes, which is not possible in any system of medicine except homeopathy. Coming to conclusion, it's 10 o'clock. It is sufficient data which is evident that homeopathic medicines are the best medical alternative to various gynae surgical conditions when selected on the principles of homeopathy. This is a condition. But at the same time, more scientific studies like randomized controlled trial on large sample size with more parameters and in different geographical areas should be conducted to further validate the results. This is very important. Sample size should be more. It should be randomized controlled trial, and such kind of studies must be conducted in various geographical areas of the country or in the world, just to prove that these results, whatever we have encountered, we have achieved, can be reproduced by other doctors in other part of the country or in the world. So with this, we conclude our study on the role of homeopathy in gynae conditions. And I am very glad that you heard me very patiently, carefully, with a smile. And if you have got any question or any shortcoming, you are welcome to share with us. Thank you very much, all, Dr. Deepak Sharma in particular, and all the participants in general. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. In this small time, you are presented very wonderful cases and covered all types of disease. But this is really wonderful to know that homeopathy is the only system in the world who is working on your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Dr. Girish Gupta sir already explained that how the limbic system is more important to each and everyone. We must learn about this limbic system and then go to the hypothalamus, then go to the pituitary, then the thyroid, and then go to anywhere after that. So this is really wonderful. But sir, here in a chat, we have a few questions, and the one of the question is, you are presented many cases with the repertorization of mental rubrics rather than the physical ones, and in between you are using the acute remedies. So what are the acute remedies, especially for the menstrual pain and especially in the cases of endometrioma, because in endometrioma the pain are very painful, they are the crampy, and even in general practice we can control it if we have no knowledge about the short acting medicine or the acute remedies. So please,
Yeah.
if you can guide about these acute remedies, this will be a wonderful.
Usually patient, whenever they are on constitutional treatment, they resort to allopathic treatment during emergencies or acute conditions. So we just tell them that we have got acute remedies as well to cover these conditions, like dysmenorrhea, as I pointed by you. Usually patient have got very severe colicky pains. We have got excellent remedies which we use, that is Simicifuga, Colocynth, Magnesia phos. These three remedies are usually required for controlling severe dysmenorrhea. At the same time, people usually, ladies are suffering from menorrhagia, profuse bleeding, sometimes red, sometimes brown, clotted or non-clotted. So we have got remedies on the basis of that. Most important is Sabina. Usually, whenever we are prescribing Calcarea, Car, Pulsatilla, arsenic or anything, that these drugs are not given frequently. We give very weekly or in fortnight, one dose. But if you encounter menorrhagia, so Sabina sometimes doesn't respond, then Trillium. We have even used 2 tinctures with success, that is Flash P. Bursa Pastoris and Mellifolium. These are the 2 remedies usually we use in tincture form. Mother tincture does not interfere with the remedy. That is a potentized remedy, because mode of action is different. So just to replace allopathic medication in acute condition, we have got remedies like Simicifuga, Colocynth, Magphos, Sabina, Trillium, Mellifolium, Flash P, and a few others. Depending on the symptoms or the condition.
Okay, sir. Sir, hello.
Shweta, yeah.
Sir, one more question is there regarding the potency selection. So mostly you have used 30 potency. तो आप जो repetition करते हैं weekly, that is only 30, or you go on higher potencies?
Usually I
30.
start from 30 once a week, one dose, single dose a week, sometimes in 15 days. And if the patient doesn't respond clinically or in the ultrasound, suppose I usually ask the patient to go for ultrasound in 12 weeks. So in follow-up ultrasound, if there is no response, patient is better. As you told, Shweta, that clinical patients में बहुत अच्छी response आती, but fibroid नहीं resolve हुआ. So in such condition, if they are clinically better and pathology is not reverting, so we increase the potency to 200. Again.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what are your views on LM potencies or high potencies?
I don't have any experience with LM potency. With due regards, very rarely we have used in a few cases, but I have never practiced it in the last 37 years. This is my 38 years of practice.
Okay.
I have used it 38 times.
Thank you,
LM.
Dr. Pita.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sir.
And today we are having our one of the eminent person, Professor Regina Rinelli from Brazil.
Oh, very good.
Namaskaram, Regina. She is really a wonderful lady, and she is also a professor, and she worked a lot on homeopathy. So welcome, ma'am. Namaskaram again, and please share your views.
Thank you, Dr. Deepak. Thank you immensely, Dr. Gupa. It's been a bless being able to hear from you, from your experience. And I have a question, if you may help, because we have a problem with carcinoma, teratoma in the ovarium. It's a stage 4 cancer. And if in your experience, instead of surgery, we could treat with homeopathy.
Ma'am, to be very frank, such condition must be operated.
Okay.
It must be operated. Then it can be treated. The case can be treated after removal of the entire tissue. Then she can be treated on constitutional basis with good success. So with homeopathic treatment, you will not have recurrence. Or if at all there is recurrence, it takes a lot of time to recur with homeopathy, because I have treated number of cases of cancer, confirmed cases, with CA-125 increased. But we usually preferred the organ to be removed first and to treat.
Mm-hmm.
Very difficult. Yeah.
Thank you. Are you in favor of hormonal reposition for early menopause clients?
No, we can't interfere with the physiology of the person. Menopause is a normal process. Neither we can, minimize it, nor we can enhance it. So menopause is a menopause. This is a normal procedure, physiological procedure. It takes its own time, but we can't interfere in that process with homeopathy.
Namaskar. Thank you very much. Namaskarams to all. Dr. Deepak, thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Sir, we are already learning one more thing about the dream of snakes today. And
Yeah.
This is the actually experience of mine, that I already presented a history of dream of a snake in a reputed hospital in Delhi. And I presented more than 1,000 cases of dream of snakes only. And that is related to the gynecological problem. And this is really a more significance of the dream of snakes in homeopathy. And there is no science in all over the world who can treat the dreams at the single doses. This is actually the beauty of homeopathy, and this work is already done 200 years before. So, so this is the choice. But at this time, we need to represent the world with our biostatistical data arranged cases. That is the need of today. And you beautifully presented all the cases, sir. All the explanations are good and perfect. And we are all today learning. I miss Dr. Kulbhushan Bhardwaj here, and I really thanks to Dr. Kulbhushan Bhardwaj. And if you are here, sir, please switch on your video so that we can listen to you also. So thank you so much, sir. It is wonderful session. And now I request to our patron sir, Dr. VP Singh, to thanks to all listeners.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Girish Gupta. आज आपने जो लेक्चर गायनेकोलॉजी इन होम्योपैथी जो बताया, वाकई एक गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट का काम था। और बहुत प्राउड की बात है कि हमारे सीनियर मोस्ट डॉक्टर गिरीश गुप्ता ने गायनेकोलॉजी पे इतना वंडरफुल वर्क किया है। और ऐसी एक्चुअली बहुत दिन पहले जब पढ़ते थे उस टाइम पर सुनते थे कि किसी लेडी को 5 किलो की रसोली हो गई, 2 किलो की रसोली हो गई, और उसको बियर करके घूमती रहती थी। लेकिन आजकल के डॉक्टर साहब एक क्वेश्चन अराइज होता है कि नाउअडेज वी आर सीइंग कि छोटी छोटी लड़कियों में मेनार्ची के बाद ही या प्यूबर्टी में ही उनको सिस्ट बनती जा रही है। तो ये कारण थोड़ा सा रहा है, इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा इलेबोरेट कर दें। और दूसरी बात ये है कि जो आपने एक्चुअली केस किए हैं 3-3, 4-4 महीने में जो केस आपने ठीक किए हैं, वाकई बहुत ही वंडरफुल हैं और बहुत ही एप्रिशिएबल हैं। होम्योपैथी तो हमें होम्योपैथी के साथ जुड़ करके बड़ा गर्व महसूस होता है। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद डॉक्टर गिरीश गुप्ता आपको डीएचए में आने के लिए।
थैंक यू। ये हमारे सारे केसेज इस बुक में बहुत डिटेल में
जी
10 मॉडल केसेज हैं एक डिजीज के। फाइब्रॉइड, ओवेरियन फाइब्रॉइड नोवा, पॉलिसिस्टिक ओवरी, 10 case model cases, very well explained cases in all conditions are presented in this book.
Please show the clear-cut name of the book.
evidence-based homeopathy in gynecology.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Sir, where it will be available?
Okay, sir.
It is available on website GCCHR. It is available on website gcchr.com.
Okay, that is wonderful. Dr. Shweta, you just write this website into the chat so everyone can get it, the link. So this is actually a wonderful session. And I request, sir, that you will continue with DHMA. And really thanks to you कि आपने बहुत एक छोटे से इनविटेशन पे मेरा ये इनविटेशन एक्सेप्ट किया. और डॉक्टर कुलभूषण भारद्वाज सर का एक बार फिर से धन्यवाद करता हूँ, डॉक्टर बीपी सिंह का, डॉक्टर श्वेता सिंह का, डॉक्टर गरिमा का, डॉक्टर रेगिना मैम का जो थोड़ा सा टाइम निकाल करके हमारे साथ आई. और डॉक्टर रेगिना बहुत स्पिरिचुअल हैं, इंडिया की जो कल्चर है वो बहुत अच्छे से फॉलो करती हैं. शी इज ऑलवेज ब्लेस्ड विद द नमस्कारम एंड शी इज वंडरफुल. तो so I thank everyone. Thanks to all. We had more than 350 participants on the Zoom and more than 100 viewers on the Facebook today. And this is a request that this is purely an educational program, and the medicine prescribed by Dr. Girish Gupta is not taken by any person without the consultation of the proper doctor. So this is purely a education program, and if there are any person who is not related to the medical field, and this cannot be prescribed to a general public. So you just consult your doctor nearby, go to the nearby homeopath and just tell all the symptoms, even related to your psyche. You are not complaining about the bleeding is more and pain is more. You just tell about your psyche also with your homeopathic physician.
The case has to be individualized. A
Yes.
case has to be individualized. These are not specific remedies for such conditions.
Yes, definitely. And those who are not actually the DHMA member till now, you can get the membership at www.dhma.in. All procedures are there. Only 3 steps are there. These are necessary steps. You just follow it and get a membership. Everyone can get the Delhi Homeopathic Medical Association membership. So I thank everyone. Thank you, Dr. Girish Gupta, once again, sir. Thank you, Dr. Regina. Thank you, Dr. VP Singh. Thank you, Dr. Shweta, Dr. Garima, Dr. Nupur. Thank you all. And namaste.
Thank you,
Sorry,
Dr. Deepak.
namaste. Bye-bye, sir.
Bye.